Glass of cannabis. It's been a glorious year. I want someone in here to stand to their feet and tell me their best way to smoke. Who will it be? You are what's your name, girl?
Not him. It don't really matter when we all agree. What's your best way to smoke? Cause I'm rolling it up. Smoke like I ain't had enough. What's your best way to smoke? Cause I'm rolling it up.
What's up with y'all out there? This is the Best Way to Smoke podcast, and you smoking with Big J.
Sir Pro Jr. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and tell a friend.
Yes, please believe, do that. And we want to thank everybody that subscribe to us, that tune in, that listen, that watch. We appreciate all that support, that comment. Thank you very much. And before we get before we jump all the way into it, we want to give a shout out to Kelly Gar. Bam, if you don't want the driplet when you rolling, get you some Cali Gar, and roll your shit up, though. But before we jump all the way into the show, we want to hit them with the best way to smoke tip. Serpo got that for us.
Yeah, this week's best way to smoke tip, it come by way of my missus, my wifey. Yep. She say, all right, in this day and age, where we at with the bud, it's like have your own proper utensils. And what she meant by that is it's like nowadays we have rolling trays, we have rollers, we have the glue guard, we have our grinder. So she just pretty much have your own weed etiquette. And that's her form of finding her best way to smoke. I got my own grinder. I got my own roller because it's like some women feel as if they can't even roll proper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she got all her stuff to make her stuff happen. Mm-hmm. And she would just she wanted to share that with the best way to smoke fam.
That's right. And that's truly the best way to smoke. So look, we've been talking heavily about a lot of the stuff, a lot of the moves that Biden has been making in the industry, in the cannabis industry and stuff. So we want to talk about how it affects the black community, the people, the communities where majority of the people was affected by prohibition. Mm-hmm. So we want to just kind of dive into that and see what's next after him pardoning people, and as far as working on reform for it, what's next to power the move to support the inner city, the black community and stuff, and to help build it back up. And give them people that was affected, different opportunities, whether it be to get into the industry or it be to, to get a head start into something else. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So right now, a big thing with weed going into legalization and with the big push to decriminalize it, it's it's going to affect the taxes. And something that we've been talking about as of late is the taxes. And as far as the price drop, so if it's legal, decriminalized, and it becomes legal, it's going to be a widespread opportunity for bigger business to get into it. So the price is going to drop. So just say a Walmart or Amazon. Now they're actually controlling the market. They're being able to lower the prices because they're a big business. So all the smaller businesses will kind of get pushed out the way because they won't be able to compete and they won't be able to keep up with the demand of the weed and the price point with it going so low. So it's man, we gotta buy this shit so low, or we gotta buy high. We're not getting a profit.
I mean, when you look at it like that, if it's going legal. Growers choose to deal who they actually want to deal with. They get to choose who they want to deal with. Right. Now, say, if you do have the big markets like Amazon, Walmart, and stuff like that, and you see it actually taken away from, what you came into the business for, you can make a change with that. Right. I don't have to make a deal or sell anything to Walmart or whatever it may be. Right. You can go ahead and try your luck with growing it the way that you want to grow it and then have your own revenue that way. But if this stuff is legal, within the cannabis world, we know who we are. Right. And we support who we support.
For sure.
So if that's there, it's have that competitive mind frame. All right, if Walmart, if you already have a world-known name, we keep saying Walmart and Amazon and shit, so that's why I keep saying it.
Right.
So if you are somebody like that, you know, like be like a Kobe coming into the league. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be better than Jordan, or I'm gonna be up there with Jordan. You
But
know
come
what I'm
on,
saying?
cuz we got to think about this shit realistically, though.
Nah,
Man,
that's realistically.
yeah. But you got to think about it in another way. This is big business. It's just like working for a company, just say a family-owned company, right?
Uh-huh.
So you might get a lot. It might be a lot more love, a lot more details, a lot more interaction with the employees and all that kind of stuff, though.
Mhm.
But then you get bought out by a corporation. Now it's a big business, a corporation that's running it. They don't care. They
That-
not gonna care about the price point to the extent of it's like they know you want the shit. They know it's a need for it, and if it's regulated in a way to where they can monopolize on a situation, they not finna try to do it that way.
Okay, they can
I believe.
like they can still do it like that, but it's like it's still really all up to that consumer. I mean, if they come up and it's like if the big business like sway you that way, all right, you swayed that way. You're gonna like the smaller people that was in there that's cultivating and got their shops going and got this going. But since this is bigger over here, they taking over.
Right.
You know, and it's like it's still on the consumer. Cause I can take it back to if you go to like clothing, you got a lot of Balenciagas and Fendi's and all that. That's real big.
Right.
But clothing like Carl Kanai and Echo and stuff like that, that's like by black,
Nietzsche and shit,
that's
yeah.
by black folks, or you can even say smaller businesses. They go out just because it's like, all right, this one may seem more popular. You know, just because it's popular, that don't mean it's like or bigger. That don't mean like you can take over. It's really still up to the consumer.
That's
If you
true.
choose to go and spend your bread here, all right, these big businesses is going to go and like win. But if you still stay in the realm of like I'm going to support what I've been pushing for, you're not going to go to no
But now
Walmart or no
right.
Amazon and try to get no shit like that.
But now think about this aspect. Like you said, yeah, the consumer has the right to deal with, the grower has the right to, or the consumer has the right to deal with whoever they want to. But just say if it's monopolized in the fact, just say you go to Walmart, for instance, and get the weed, and you got fucking 200 different kinds of weed you can choose from, plus concentrates, plus this and plus that. But now the way it's monopolized, you go to your local dispensary, and it's 10, maybe 10 different flavors to choose from. So it's definitely gonna be, I think it's definitely gonna be monopolized if it get there, like to where the bigger corporations be able to monopolize and control the situation. Because they are gonna be able to control the situation, and that's what a lot of people are afraid of. Like, you know, we done talked to some customers, some vendors and shit like that, that feel like if it's decriminalized, that it's gonna push them out. It's gonna push all them businesses out, because a lot of them are not gonna be able to compete with the bigger business. Just think about Amazon. They already got the Amazon delivery. Just think, you order some weed today, a large amount or whatever, man, you get that shit in a few hours, tomorrow, same day delivery, different shit like that. So it's you might be able to go to the fucking little lock boxes. Oh, we're going to drop it in the lock box. It's going to be there, man. You got such and such time to get there, because it's going, it lasts
So pretty
this long.
much, it should stay like the way it is, and then that way, like the actual cannabis community continue to, I guess, grow up under the little gray area that we have.
Man, it's hard to say, because it's a catch, because I believe like we've been pushing for a long time, the decriminalization will help out a lot of people, that's been affected and stuff like that. But
only for those offenses, but it'll only help those offenses, and outside of those like charges or whatever it may be, there's no other benefit pretty much if it get decriminalized.
Besides the programs and stuff like that, like we talked about the MORE Act before.
Uh-huh.
So it's different programs that's in effect once it's decriminalized.
But those programs are pretty much be brought out by the big industry businesses.
No, not necessarily the programs. the programs that come from the taxes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's brought in from
That's if they
from the
actually
sales of the
use that
cannabis.
for that.
Right, but it's supposed to be put into law in some kind of lingo to where with the MORE Act and the Act, it's actually an updated bill that's going up into the Senate
Mm-hmm.
that we supposed to vote on in November. So once it get there, then we'll know like actually more information about that. You know what I mean?
And part of the I guess benefits of the MORE Act is like you get inner city programs, jobs for like inner city jobs and things like that.
Yep,
Like things
jobs,
starting to open up.
training, opportunities for just say if it's a father or a mother that was affected by it, they could pass that on to their kids. Their
Now,
kids
is
could
that
benefit
like
from this program.
now like just to your knowledge, is that like for like say job wise, is that like any trade you want to go and learn, or is it anything like specific like dealing with just cannabis or whatever that
I
may
think
be?
it's just it's anything. It's not just directed in cannabis, but it's supposed to be a wide open door to allow a person that's been affected to slide into the industry if that's something they want to do. But it's definitely other opportunities outside of the cannabis industry.
I mean, it's like that's all fine and dandy if you go right there looking at it in that aspect as far as like the decriminalization and stuff of it. It's like, okay, the marijuana or cannabis offenses that I have, all right, I can get those shut down and sealed up. Like, and if I don't have anything other like bigger, like charges or
Right.
whatever it may be, I can get like any trade, I can get trained in like anything as far as like the benefits of the MORE Act and with this being decriminalized. You know,
Right.
so as far as that right there, that's all cool and on the up and up. But as far as like getting into the cannabis business or whatever it may be, it's just seeming as if like most vendors and things of such, it's like they feel threatened by the big businesses, as you say, because it's more accessible or whatever it may
Right.
be.
Right.
You know, so it's like it's almost it's a
I have a comment.
What?
All right. Well, here's the thing. When we talk about like the commodity of it, there's already a model for that. In pretty much every industry, they've seen that thing where big businesses are coming in and taking over a certain thing. And what happens is all of the smaller companies feel threatened. There are cities somehow that don't allow large companies to come in just to try to protect their small businesses, right?
Yep.
But at the same time, that's not something that's really going to ultimately work. So as weed becomes decriminalized, and like you said, if let's say big businesses go in and sell it, to your point, they're gonna be able to go to these growers and say, we'll offer you more money, or we'll buy more, or we'll buy all of your inventory, right? And so for small growers, they're gonna go, well, sheesh, do I go with all these independents and worry about if they're going to buy some this month next, or am I going to go with the Walmart and they have more restrictions, but it's going to be a consistent paycheck, right?
Right.
So that's one issue of it. But what's going to happen is it's going to mature the market, because there's always room to Serpo's point. There's always room for specialty retail,
Right.
right? That means the small growers are going to have to work harder at making sure that they can deliver a specialty product, a better experience, right? And they're gonna be able to charge more, because that's the only way they can get by. They won't be able to compete on price with the larger companies.
It's gonna be hard.
So they're gonna offer, and so it's the same way that a Porsche dealer can exist when you got Chevy dealers. It's the exact same way that stuff works. So there will be room. It's just smaller retailers are gonna have to work harder to create a better experience for buyers.
Yep. And I think it would help. It would help a lot if that did happen that way. But just think about it like this, though. If we already got a lot of dispensaries in a lot of places, right? So now it's already you can go to some cities and see a dispensary here, there, and there. So now once big business get their hands in it, on top of them smaller businesses, you gonna have all these big businesses that's gonna probably have the billboards and all this different shit to advertise and monopolize the consumers. So now you think about the growers. Let's talk about the growers. So now say like if these big businesses say, you know what, fuck it, let's start growing and shit too. Now we don't have to buy from these smaller growers. Now we could kind of push them out because we create the market now. Now we growing the shit. Now we create the market and we could dictate everything.
So they can just take over the grow system and then just be like, all right, I'll hire you to grow this.
Right. No, I'm saying if the like just say a Walmart or Amazon, for instance, if they say, fuck it, we finna start growing it now too. We gonna supply ourselves and be able to supply other companies and shit like that too. And then you think about it, something that they actually been trying to push is to get it to where the big businesses damn, I lost my fucking thought.
But like, you know what I'm saying? But to pick up on that though, but to pick up on that, I mean, it's like if they take over,
I lost my
if they take over that little grow system like that, they have
Right.
to come up with like a quality product to match the other
That's what I was
growers
gonna
that
say.
been
Thank
up
you.
in
Yeah,
there.
I got it back.
You know, and it's like it'll be like a quality type of thing then. Now, if like the big business as far as like a Walmart or Amazon, if they can come up with a quality product and they have like the users be like, oh man, that Amazon OG was good in the mug. Like if you have people to come up and say that, all right, then you have a different level of competition.
Right.
You know, but like the actual grower that been here through the mud, it's like you know a thing or two that some of these people may not know.
What if they going in now they hiring those people?
All right, then it's like, all right, you monopolizing shit, you going to go take over.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's like,
that's
all right.
monopoly.
And
yeah.
then to them, if they go that route, the fight that you stood for to get this decriminalized and for you to get up and like to have this legit, you just fell for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you fought for nothing. So it's
Just-
like really your cause is like full of shit.
Cause just think about America. Everything from the prohibition with liquor, everything. Just think about everything, how it gets monopolized.
I mean,
But it
if you
gets
look at
monopolized by
it in that
bigger
aspect,
business.
it's like, shoot, we in a no-win situation then. If you look at it in that aspect.
But it'll
Like,
always
why is it even up to be voted on if it's like going to be considered like this?
right.
You baking me a pretty, beautiful, tasty-looking cake, but I get a piece of this cake or whatever it may be, and it's fucking trash.
All right. Because remember how we, like I said, we've been very, us at Best Way to Smoke, we've been very passionate about the decriminalization on the federal level for,
That's crazy.
people to be, released from prison. But now look at the play that's coming now, what Biden just did for lower level cannabis charges on the federal level. And he's urging states to do the same thing. So just say if states take on the same thing, then it's we don't necessarily need it to be, if they can figure out a way to regulate it, we don't need it to be decriminalized if it's already helping in the aspect of people being released and people being pardoned and shit being
On the
taken
level
off
it's
their
on
rent.
now.
Right. If you really think about it, if that's already taken place, that was my big play for it. And that was our big play at Best Way to Smoke was the so people can get out of jail, people can get shit off their records. But if that's something they already doing, then why it can't just be regulated by each state? Feds stay the fuck up out of it and let it be regulated by each state, however they want to push it, and taxed out.
I can dig that right there because it's like, all right, if where we stand right now, it's not legal on the federal level, but small marijuana possessions. Like I'm still not sure what the small marijuana possessions may be or what's considered to be a small marijuana
Like
possession.
a misdemeanor or a low-level felony, like just maybe just a possession.
I'm talking about the quantity of it. That
Oh,
they
maybe
tryna
you
say.
had a little bit over an ounce or some shit, or whatever the required amount is for you to have. Maybe you have more than that. Or some
And
shit.
that aspect is, it's like we in good stance. It's like because it's the small level stuff right there. If those charges right there is stopping you from advancing in any way, shape, or form in life,
Right.
I mean, it's like, all right, we can dig that and it can stay like right there. Because as of now, certain states and cities already have a certain little guideline into
To
play.
decriminalize it.
And if the state is allowing it, I mean, it's like I'm not like venturing into like a federal level because it's like if the state is allowing it, I have the proper paperwork and permits and everything to actually do the work.
Right.
So I'm not breaking the law because if you actually go into like construction and shit like that, this is legal work, but you have to have licenses and permits in the place.
Right.
So if I have that and the state is doing that now, we all good. And it's like if the decriminalization of it and they get pardons and shit like that done, we even better. Because as we've been going over, certain states already have like things in the play for you to get records sealed. So it's like this is just a bigger, a bigger boat for us to ride on, for us to get records sealed, to get employment, grow the economy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it just seemed like it's too many. It's a lot of moving parts with it. It's a lot of moving parts,
It's just a
and
topic of discussion, I think.
yeah, it's a lot of moving parts, and I think it's scary right now for a lot of businesses.
I can see
I think
that.
it's a lot of business that it's
I can
scary
see
right
that
now.
now.
And just think about a lot of the people, a lot of the businesses that's behind the gun. Like we always talk about businesses that didn't make it in to be legal. That was trying to get legal. So now they moved to an unincorporated area. Now they're in these areas where you can actually run a dispensary and really don't have to fear of repercussion from the police or something like that, though, because it's an unincorporated area. And that's something we want to talk about now is Measure C. Something that's up on the ballot is Measure C, and this is in Los Angeles County. And Measure C is to start taxing these dispensaries in unincorporated areas. And right now, what goes on in a lot of these dispensaries in unincorporated areas throughout LA is it's a lot of crime. It's a lot of robberies. It's even been some deaths and stuff like that because those areas are not officially regulated by the sheriffs, the LA County Police, LAPD. I mean, they're not actually regulated. So it's like if you all go over there and commit a crime and you call the police, it could be 2 hours before they come. They'll come, it could be a long time before they show up. You know what I mean? So it just opens up a lot of different opportunities and it puts a stain on them cities that have unincorporated areas to where it's a lot of crime going on. That raises the crime rate in them cities like that. So I think in the form of on some legal shit in the form of taxing these unincorporated businesses. I think if they could put something in play, these businesses in unincorporated areas, I think if they could put something in play to where these businesses are allowed to still run, and they can tax them, then that's fine. But to me, it sounds like they're going to tax these illegal businesses. You know what I mean? These are actually illegal cannabis businesses, and they want to set up a tax because it's hard to regulate and close them down in these unincorporated areas because they could come shut you down and you could open up one across the street or open that same one up that you had open and they ain't gonna come back for months, probably a year or some shit.
So it's like in these unincorporated areas, it's like if the shopper's running, y'all gonna tax me. But if something happened to my little business right here, it's like I don't reap the benefits of an actual business. That's it's like if I'm going through the proper like procedures and everything to have my business open within the county or whatever, I should reap the benefits. It's like if I get stuck up, like man, like come help.
Right.
if that's the case, and it's like some cities are trying to put those like I guess task force in place to protect those.
And we the people that vote on it though.
Yeah. And it's like so if we going legit and we want to have our things protected, all right, they have things like on the ballot to where it's like you can like vote for the task force to help protect that. Now, like the flip side to that, in my opinion, is it's like if you continue to show like that aspect of it right there, like I have a small business and my small business is dealing in cannabis.
Yeah.
Now, if you looking at that as if like it's not nothing right there and you giving people, the idea that like, all right, I can go in there and rob them right here, and I can go ahead and
That's
just
what's
get
going
away.
on. Yep.
You know, and it's like you gonna give people the edge to keep on doing so.
Yep.
Now it's like the flip side to that. Like if you go, it's like this is just in a thinking person's mind. If you have suitable employments, like meaning suitable ways to meet certain requirements of people to like eat, get out there and eat and have
Right.
everything legit,
Right.
it wouldn't be nothing out there for you to go out there and rob because you're not restricting us from anything.
Right.
You know, you're giving us equal opportunity.
Opportunity,
So
yep.
if you're taking that equal opportunity, it's like I don't have the time to sit here and rob. But if like you is just on that type tip right there, that's what they have coming up on these ballots to vote for. All right, I did my due diligence. I got my paperwork. I'm knowledgeable about this, that, and that. I should reap the benefits of, say, a Walmart getting robbed.
Right. Because if you think about that, even though it's in an unincorporated area, right around the corner might be a neighborhood, from that unincorporated area, and the crime rate affects that area also because it's still in the same city, even though that specific part is unincorporated. So if it's crime happening in that unincorporated area, the crime rate in that city is rising. So, and that's what's being reported. So if you think about with them giving the voters the right to vote on this Measure C, yay or nay for the 4% tax, and it's something I think that tax probably go to paying the police department a little bit more to probably patrol or some shit like that. Or come through, okay, well, this area is unincorporated. Well, we going out of this 4% tax that we collecting from all these dispensaries and growers, because it's not just dispensaries, it's the growers in the unincorporated areas. We gonna give y'all a kickback for going to check making sure these areas are patrolled and stuff like that. I think that would be a good move as far as to helping to bring the crime rate down in those areas because it's big though. And just think of like shit like a nigga that's on that tip. You know what I mean? Like nigga, you sitting there, you want some money, you looking on the news like, damn, it's all these unincorporated dispensaries. You know what I mean?
But
I'm gonna
like
put
I
a
think-
disclaimer though, look though, and then you might just be plotting it like, damn, so a nigga could go hit and the police ain't gonna come. Oh, nigga, yeah.
It's the mind of people out there like
Right.
that.
It's a lot
But
of
it's
people that think like
you
that.
can look at it like this too. Though, if you are in some of them unincorporated areas, it's like, all right, you have a different type of opportunity as well. Like you can actually like meet with some of these people of this neighborhood or whatever it may be. Besides, like the law, you can talk to them and be like, all right, I'm willing to like work with you guys as far as like hire, give you job as far as security. And it's like,
So you saying bring them in as a security guard?
not necessarily. It don't have to be a security guard. Some of these people that's probably plotting, looking at the news, they probably like know how to grow something. They probably know how to do something in retail.
Well, there's a gang of them that don't.
Yeah, but it's
I
like,
know what you're saying though, and I feel you. And that's the avenue, you know what I mean? That's the thought process that we want to have. But in a society where it's like motherfuckers don't want to, it's a gang of jobs out here. And motherfuckers don't want to go to work. Motherfuckers don't want to do this. A lot of people, just think about when the EDD was popping. It was an easy play on some money. So a lot of people might look at this like it's an easy play on some money. Just on one of our upcoming shows, we're going to look at the crime rate in unincorporated areas of like robberies and shit like that, though, that, of the dispensaries and stuff. And just to see how many was reported. And we're going to kind of talk about that shit too, though.
and yeah, that'll be good to know because it's like I'm kind of like rooting for the inner city as far as like
Sure.
where we at. Like it's kind of low, like due to the simple fact, like we kind of respecting certain boundaries, certain growers, certain shops or whatever it may be. Even though some are getting robbed or raided, however you want to say it. I'm just kind of rooting for the inner cities as far as like it's kind of low. Like due to like the things that we do go through, and it's like you have something that's readily at hand to where it's like you don't have to get harassed, this, that, and the other. I just hope we doing kind of good in the inner city.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hyped to see that. I want to see.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm hyped. I'm hyped too. A big thing I want to see. I just want to see a lot of the wrongs be righted. We can't get time back get certain people back and all that kind of shit though. But I want to see a big change, you know, and I want to see the people that need to benefit really benefit off of it though, because like we've talked about before, right now, even with it not being federally decriminalized right now, these certain big businesses are monopolizing. You think because we've been on the topic of Amazon and and Walmart, you think Amazon or Walmart are not invested in this in some kind of way? You know, you think other big businesses, Johnson and Johnson, all these other different big businesses are not invested in it? You think these pharmaceutical companies, that's another competition. That's going to be another form of competition for these smaller business. These pharmaceutical companies, if it does get legalized on a federal level, these pharmaceutical companies going to come in this motherfucker too.
And you can get your pharmaceuticals through Walmart and Amazon.
And then just see a news article that I read a few days ago was saying like opioids, like cannabis is kind of taking over for opioids. So if opioid users are moving towards cannabis, you know, to treat certain things and shit like that, then that's a major drug that people be trying to get. You know, that's a form of. Man, it's
on to something right there, and it's like if you out there, like if you're really paying attention to it, you know what I'm saying, listen to what Big J is saying, because that is kind of like you making me think. You know, it's like if certain things are able to be like sealed on a state level and federal level as of now,
right?
You know, and then you have certain things as far as like small businesses able to get certain permits and licenses under state law, city and county law, however that may go, and you kind of like in good standings.
Right.
And then it's like, all right, if we do like go like federally with it, Big Pharma and all of these other people can start to like come in and start regaining a spot back. Because as you say, they start to move over to cannabis.
Yep.
Like a lot of these people on pharmaceuticals and stuff, they starting to come to the cannabis, THC, CBD, cannabis-based, you know, products.
Yep.
So if they starting to come over here now, and it's like we have the opportunity to, like, if we do have the small offenses to get this shit sealed, and even other offenses, you know, it's like within your state, you can get the stuff sealed or whatever it may be, and you can still progress. Man, we in good standings. And then it's on the flip side of it, it's like, all right, these motherfuckers can come in and just take over my shit.
Take over my shit.
So it's like whatever state that you in. Right now, we in California, like Los Angeles area. So it's like look into how it's going to affect your area, whether you wanted to stay where it's at now and we got good benefits where we are now, and then go over it and see if you want to go for the decriminalization of it, actually. You know, so it's like right now we just giving our opinions right here, and this stuff is going up like what, November 8th or
November
18th?
8th.
November
And another thing that they wanted to work on was allowing the government, this is what some government officials was trying to push, is to allow the government to regulate it. So if that happens, they allow the government to regulate it, sell it, all that shit, then it's gonna all come from the fucking government. So then a lot of the right, but that's gonna push the big businesses, the smaller businesses out of the way too. So if if it's being grown by the government, being sold by the government, it's gonna be like survival of the fittest, in my opinion. You're gonna have to try your motherfucking best to duck swim and survive this shit.
I know. It's just when you said like let the government regulate it, it's like, you know, because it's, you know, I'm a building inspector. I deal with like asbestos and things and stuff and such like that, and I deal with a lot of construction companies.
Right.
When you said regulated, I just made a simple comparison to there, because it's like even within the construction field, you have state laws, state regulations, city laws, city regulations, which is like they go neck and they right hand in hand, but some may give you a little bit more leniency than the other. Some may be a little bit more stringent than others, you know, but at the same time, like as you say, within that competition, you have these different companies and businesses that like, all right, I abide by the rules and we still succeeding. Then you have the others that like, if I'm not abiding by the rules, it's like you're gonna get like overshadowed by the people that's like, all right, I'm supplying good product
Yep.
and I'm within the rules. I'm within the state laws, the state regulations.
Yeah,
You know, because it's like they're different, but they're the same.
for sure.
So it's like that's why I said like, all right, that's kind of cool, you know, because it's like it's fun competition.
Yep. And for the people that's paying attention, that's in the cannabis industry, that want to get in the cannabis industry, just pay attention to what's going on and see what's related to cannabis that's going to be on the ballot on November 8th. You know, I know I'm a vote. You know, Serpo gonna do his thing and vote. We gonna make us at Best Way to Smoke. We gonna vote on what's important and what we need to vote on. Even though we feel like sometimes, man, on some of them elections, like the presidential election, man, like I've seen some shit that said the actual vote don't even matter.
Come from the little college.
You know what I mean?
Like
But it come from the what?
The college, some type of college electoral vote.
The electoral,
like that.
yeah, that's more important than the popular, I guess the popular vote that comes from the people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what wins it for them, the electoral vote. And that's all the officials that vote.
That's something to know as well, because it's like we fighting for change as far as these like lower laws as we look at, but that's something to look at too right there, because it's like if I'm a taxpaying citizen or whatever it may be, and I call myself going in here to make a vote, to make a difference, and then you tell me that like, all right, it counted, but it didn't count. This is what we're going off of over here. That's what makes people feel as if like, what the fuck am I voting for?
Right.
You know, so it's like if we can bring attention to things as far as like cannabis and things like that,
Right.
we can bring attention to that as well, because it's like our voices really need to be heard. It shouldn't be like a makeshift, like, all right, get these people to come out here right here, and then the electoral vote, we look at this and see what these people are going off of, and then, all right, we finna make our own decision. We don't care about this. We finna go this route.
Yep.
That's like kind of defeating the purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So look, man, just pay attention to what's going on with all that. So we want to talk about the corruption. We want to talk about the fucking corruption in California right now with getting licensing. You know, we always talk about the opportunities that should be created for the people of them cities, of the inner city that's been affected and stuff like that, though. But we got a crooked council member, Ricardo Pachenko, that was a council member in Baldwin Park, and he was actually taking bribes and to set these dispensaries up. Dispensaries and growers in that local community was paying him to get passes on certain shit though, and to get benefits on certain things, and that's fucked up because that's fucked up because it limits the opportunities for people that's trying to do shit the right way, or that don't have the money to say, here go 150,000 to make sure we good for the next wooty woo woo woo.
Or like say for instance, like if it's not a bribe,
right?
You know, say if it's like, all right, I'm legal counsel or whatever it may be, and I'm telling you these are the limitations right here. You pay this such and such with the wild wham, and you go, all right, I'm within the legal things right here, but then it turn around and be like, all right, this is not it. Like it can go like both ways. If you are like paying cutbacks, don't hit my shit.
Don't hit me.
You know, like my shit shouldn't be getting hit. And it's like within there, it's from Inland Empire all the way to the San Gabriel Valley.
Compton.
You know, so that's all in between.
Yep.
That's everything in between there.
Yep.
You know, so it's like if that's the case, I mean, if you're gonna take the cutback, like don't give me a deck of cards and charge me for gambling. You know what I'm saying? It's like stick to it. It's like, all right, like I'm not giving you a cutback actually for me to get into business. It's like, all right, I'm actually coming to you like with my paperwork and things of such. And I'm guessing now that like you actually own the bandwagon to like
help.
You know, like to help the business, to help it grow, like even to help your own office.
Because council members can take money, but it has to
donations.
be it has to be on the table. It has to be
and for a cause.
right, and it has to be known when they're taking a donation or whatever.
Mhm.
It has to be known what it's for and all that kind of stuff. Anything under the table and like anything under
That's
the
what
table
makes
is
it
wrong.
bad, yeah.
And like the guy Pachenko, the council member Pachenko, he's already been relieved of his job, and it's other council members in cities that's in the same category. And like I said, it's fucked up that's the situation because it limits opportunities. It limits opportunities for people trying to get in and do shit the right way.
And it's like I don't want to like go on some like conspiracy theory type shit, but like in some ways I feel as if like this is put in place. You know, it's like, all right, we finna put you up here on this little stance right now because in so many years we're going to be doing this right now. You're not so important, so like we're going to give you a little time, this, that, and the other. Once we get to this little state, this little area right here, you get hit with this. You know, and it's like it's putting a damper on like the cannabis community again. Whether you trying to federally legalize it or like whichever way we trying to go. Because once you get stuff like this, all right, you got government officials trying to do some corruption type shit. What? So if you got it going on up there, like what make you think it's gonna be like safe and cool for us down here? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that right there. It's like sometimes I'll be thinking it's like, all right, we trying to get somewhere and be legit, but like stuff like this happen to come in and like put a like you just gave me a cold black eye.
Man.
You know, and it's like like man, I could have really been thinking like I'm going to get my stuff legit, this, that, and the other, but you get found for like taking cutbacks, this, that, and the other, and at the same time, I get my spot hacked up, all my product gone, all my money and stuff gone. I can't even pay my fees and shit now. Yeah.
It's a cold situation, and it's a lot going on in the cannabis industry, and we'll definitely be chopping it in to let everybody know on the issues that's hitting home for us, and even issues that you guys feel like we should talk about and put out there. But look, before we jump up out of here, so you're gonna be seeing soon packaging warning labels on marijuana products. They just passed the bill went in, you know what I mean, and I think last month. So I think it's going. Companies have about a year before they have to comply fully. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you're going to start seeing a lot more warning labels on marijuana packages, from cancer labels, from smoking. You know, all them different kind of warning labels, man. So be on the lookout for that. And them companies, they got to do it. Get to it.
Yeah, and that's cool. And you know, best way to smoke, we always tell you to stay informed. Yep. So that is kind of cool that they finna put them labels out there. You can know what's you finna put in your body.
Yeah, for sure, man. We thank y'all for tuning in with the Best Way to Smoke podcast. Big J.
Turbo Jr. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and tell a friend.
Yes, best way.